Have you ever wondered why you have blue eyes when your parents both have brown eyes? Or why your hair is curly when your siblings' hair is straight? The answers to these questions lie in the fascinating world of genetics. And the star of our show today is Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics. Gregor Mendel was a 19th century monk with a knack for science. He conducted groundbreaking experiments with pea plants that revolutionized our understanding of inheritance. Before Mendel, people had a vague idea about inheritance, but no one had figured out the rules. Mendel's work changed all that. Mendel's discoveries were like finding a secret code that explained how traits are passed from one generation to the next. His work laid the foundation for modern genetics, a field that affects everything from medicine to agriculture. Mendel's experiments were ingeniously simple, yet incredibly insightful. He chose pea plants as his subjects for several reasons. Peas are easy to grow, they produce a lot of offspring, and they have several traits that are easy to observe, like flower color and seed shape. Mendel carefully crossbred pea plants with different traits, meticulously recording the results. He noticed patterns in the characteristics of the offspring. For instance, when he crossed a plant with purple flowers with a plant with white flowers, all the offspring had purple flowers. But when he then crossed those purple-flowered offspring, some of their offspring had white flowers. Mendel's keen observations and careful record-keeping allowed him to deduce two fundamental laws of inheritance. Mendel's first law is the law of segregation. This law states that each parent carries two copies of each gene, but only one copy is passed on to each offspring. Imagine you have two coins, one representing each copy of a gene. When you flip a coin, only one side faces up, right? That's like how only one copy of a gene gets passed down. His second law, the law of independent assortment, states that different genes are inherited independently of each other. Imagine flipping two coins at the same time. Just because one coin lands on heads doesn't mean the other one will too, right? They are independent events. Now let's talk about dominant and recessive traits. Dominant traits are like the popular kids in school. They always stand out. If you inherit even one copy of a dominant gene, that trait will show up. Think of brown eyes. They are dominant over blue eyes. Recessive traits are like the shy kids. They only show up if no dominant trait is around. To have a recessive trait, you need to inherit two copies of the recessive gene. Blue eyes are recessive, which is why two brown-eyed parents can have a blue-eyed child if they both carry the recessive gene for blue eyes. Mendel's work was truly groundbreaking, but it wasn't immediately recognized for its brilliance. It wasn't until the early 20th century that scientists rediscovered his work and realized its significance. Today, Mendel's laws of inheritance form the bedrock of modern genetics. His discoveries have had a profound impact on fields like medicine, agriculture, and even criminal justice. For example, understanding genetic disorders helps doctors diagnose and treat diseases. In agriculture, breeders use genetic principles to develop crops that are more resistant to disease and produce higher yields. And in forensics, DNA evidence can be used to identify criminals and solve crimes. So, the next time you marvel at the diversity of life around you, remember Gregor Mendel and his humble pea plants. His work unlocked the secrets of inheritance and paved the way for countless scientific advancements that continue to shape our world today.